My skin is black.
What you looking
My
at?
skin
Yeah,
is black.
I feel so good to be black right now.
is black.
What you look-
Welcome to episode 128 of the Black and Fashion Podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us this time. Of course, you know we are moving into the end of the year, so this is our last episode of the year. So I'll make sure you guys are tuning in the new year. We'll give you more content, but since this is our last one, of course, I have an in-studio guest, and we're going to make this one pop because it's the last one of the year. Make sure y'all sending them black notes in 2023. I want to know what your challenges are, what your obstacles are. You can send them in anonymously as well, just so that we can help you. And, of course, me and whoever my guest is can comment on your whatever you need. We can give you advice and information. You also can send in topics that you'd like us to discuss as well. Don't forget to do your I am BNF videos. We want to tag you and share and talk about what being black in fashion means to you. So today I'm joined with Ryan C. Gale. I gotta throw the C in there, right? Yes. My middle name starts with a C too, and my last name starts with a G.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I'm like, you gotta throw the C.
What's your middle name?
Collier.
Collier. I love that.
Last name is Griffin. Yep.
Griffin.
Yep.
I'm Colby.
Kobe. Oh, nice. That's what's up. So she is a stylist, editor, and an entrepreneur, and her business is for sustainable fashion. So let's talk a little bit about yourself, when you caught that fashion bug, and where you're from, your background, all that good stuff.
I feel like the fashion bug has always been deep down in me since birth. Literally, I've been surrounded by fashion just from my grandparents, my grandmother, my grandfather. He was just so dapper, and like one of our things that we would do like every weekend, it seemed like every weekend, like he would just pick me up and we would just go to the mall and just go shopping. Like I'm originally from Washington, D.C. That's where my parents are from. That's where I was born and raised. And
You eat mumbo sauce?
oh yes, yes, mumbo sauce on the fried chicken wings, on the French fries, hot sauce and ketchup, mumbo sauce. It's a thing.
Gotcha.
So yeah, like it's just really been in me. My mom collected a lot of magazines, and growing up in the 90s and the 2000s, we had so many black magazines, so it wasn't anything for me to not see myself in those magazines.
Ebony and Jet.
Ebony and Jet, and then there was Honey, and then there was like
yeah,
Word
Right
Up,
On.
and then
Yes,
it was just
I
like
forgot all about
yeah,
that.
it was just like
Right Up,
even
Word
like
Up.
Sister to Sister, like they had
Right.
amazing interviews and hair magazines. Like my next door neighbor, she was a beautician, so I used to. She would do my hair and like submit those photos to the magazines. So
Nice.
it's just I've just been surrounded by fashion like since a child.
Gotcha. Well, how long you been in New York?
I've been here for 10 years.
Oh wow.
10 years this year.
I moved here when I was 25,
Okay.
and I'm going on year 9.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm almost at that 10-year mark. My boyfriend was like, you might as well just say 10 years. I'm like, no, it's almost 9.
Look.
I'm not 35 yet. I'm not even 34 yet. I got a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
Like, leave me alone.
You a Capricorn?
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
When's your birthday?
The 27th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm February 4th.
Okay, yeah. Caps.
Right. Come on. Come on. I'm assuming we're in the same age range, too.
Yeah, I'll be 31.
Okay, yep, sure is.
Mhm.
All right, so tell me a little bit about like what trends you see like in the industry right now, and what pieces of clothing do you feel that most people need to have in their closet? Let's just go for the fall, winter. What do they need? Because I know it's gonna change up in spring, summer, fall, winter season.
I mean, I feel like the trends, they always recycle. I feel like styles and everything always come back and circle around. Like I'm more on the sustainability side. I'm a minimalist, and I just try to like always just not overbuy. I like to buy things that make sense and that I can use time and time again. I mean, obviously denim, like that's a trend, but that's just something that never like ever goes out of style. But it's what's heavy on the runway a lot. A lot of designers and collections produce like a lot of denim looks. But I'm really not like a trend expert because like I'm inspired by what the kids are doing on the street, or like, what I see in my community, in my neighborhood. But I love to just shop for those pieces, like those quality pieces, because I always think it's best to have quality over quantity. And
Always.
during the winter seasons, I will always recommend like wool or like cashmere, and it's like you don't even have to buy that stuff brand new. Like I love vintage, I love secondhand shopping, and so like those type of pieces I think is necessary to have. All you got to do, you can rewear that, take it to the cleaners once or twice a year, and just wear it again. You know.
True. What are like? I feel like there's a skill set to have to go out and buy secondhand clothing and like to buy vintage clothing. So for someone who is trying to maybe, get their wardrobe more sustainable and to be more of like a thrifter, what advice do you give? Like, is there a certain day a week you should go? Because I remember one time I went into one in Bushwick, not that far from my studio, and I had good intention to go through, and I'm like, oh my God, it's too many racks in here. It's too many people in here. And I walked right on out the door.
One thing I can say is like, so there's a difference between like thrifting and then like shopping vintage. A lot of vintage shops have like curated collections. So it's like you really don't have to do too much sourcing. But if you go to like the thrift shop, like a Salvation Army or like a Goodwill or something like that, you will get a really cheap item, but you really have to source. And I mean go through each piece on the rack piece by piece, and that's time consuming. You know, it's really like you gotta if you're gonna thrift shop, you really gotta be in the right mindset, because you never know. You can't like go pull up and be like, oh, I need denim, let me just pull up for denim, because it probably won't be no good denim that day. You definitely have to be open minded when you're thrifting. But there's so many different vintage shops that's already curated, and they will be a little pricier because somebody already sourced it out for you.
True. That's how Sophia, the girl boss, that's how she started her business. Have you seen the Netflix show? And I thought it was
on eBay. She started on eBay, right?
She started on eBay, and did you see the show? She has a show on Netflix. And on the
she had a book too.
Yeah. And I never read the book,
Nasty
but
girl.
like the show, the way she was like finding those, like she literally made the guy at the vintage store like open up so she could see everything before anybody else could see it or whatever. And she started selling the stuff on eBay. But there was a whole vintage community that was coming down on her on the blogs, saying that because she would repurpose the stuff. She would buy vintage clothing, cut it up, so make it look different or whatever. So they were shunning her, like, you are taking timeless pieces and you were basically fucking them up, and you're not honing in on like the value of these pieces. Do you find that like when you do like vintage shopping and stuff like that you constantly have to alter the items and stuff like that, or change them up, or do you feel like you like the way they are and you just kind of go with them?
I mean, for my personal use, I definitely have taken things to the tailor to get it fit. And I think like a lot of clothes should be tailored. Like, we're not all just one size fit all. I think it's necessary to have things tailored to actually fit your body. I haven't done a lot of like repurposing with clothes, but I have like taken some things and like bought something super big or something super long and had it cut, or added a split to it, you know. And I think that's fine. I feel like people are always going to have something to say about anything. Like, I didn't know that they was mad at her for like they
literally was talking so much shit about her online and stuff, and I'm
that's
just
crazy.
Like, what the fuck? It was people who own other vintage shops too. And they were just like pissed, and I'm just like, why does it matter? This girl going out there buying shit with her money and do whatever she want to do with it and selling it for more. Y'all just pissed that y'all didn't think of
they
it
was
first.
hating.
Yeah, they was definitely hating, without doubt. So tell me a little bit about your business.
So By Colby, I started it last year, 2021. As a stylist, like, I just always collect, and I just have lots of pieces for different shoots, for different clients, and it's always pretty much like those quality pieces that I was saying, like wool, silks, leather, and things like that. And I have a lot of friends who always ask me, like, Ryan, like, you go thrifting and you always find like really cool things. So I just created By Colby as an extension of that, to just curate different pieces for, friends or whoever is interested in shopping, like curated secondhand, to do that through me. So the first drop was with the vintage line, was a leather, and then I did a second drop, which was like some designer pieces that I had sourced. And then By Colby itself is just like a cozy line where I sell like pullovers and biker shorts and like soft drop socks, like really cozy stuff, like how I'm dressed right now.
Athleisure.
Yeah.
Is that what's your favorite? You would say that's your favorite category, is athleisure?
It's one of them, you know. I like to be comfortable, but also within my comfortable, cozy, oversized clothes, I also like to just add a touch of feminine to it. So I got the sweatsuit on with the boot today, the heel boot. So yeah.
Okay. I read that from your questionnaire that one of your biggest accomplishments is moving to New York and making it here.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit, like that transition from coming away from home, because I feel like that's often the question that I get often. It was just like, you moved, because I'm originally from Chicago.
Okay.
Born and raised. And then when I came
Yes.
here, everyone was like, you like it? How you like it?
Yeah.
Like, you moved there by yourself?
Mhm.
But I'm like, it's a struggle.
Struggle.
But I made it do what it do.
Yeah.
So can you talk about like your experience, like just moving and what that shift was like for you?
It was so crazy because I always dreamed of living in New York. Like, I was saying, my mom collected magazines and I would just cut them up and like paste it all over my wall. Like, yeah, I'm moving to the big city one day. But yeah, after college, 3 of my best friends, we had all graduated together, and they were like, we moving to New York. One of my best friends was like, I'm pursuing modeling and acting. The other one's like, I'm pursuing dancing. And the other one was getting ready to go to grad school out here. And I was like, I want to do fashion. But it was even still scary because I didn't know, like, it was like, yeah, we talking about it. But they were, like, so serious. Like,
Okay.
Ryan, we going. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go. But they was like, all right, Ryan, we going to see you, deuces. And they was out. And I was like, nah, I'm actually going. So we moved here. We didn't know where we needed to stay. It's 4 of us all together.
Okay.
We didn't know where we needed to stay. We found something on Craigslist super cheap, I think. All the way out in Brownsville. So we were so far. But we could afford it.
Right.
And I mean, it was the 4 of us. It was great. Like when we first moved, we had it's crazy. We had 1 mattress and we were just one queen size mattress. We were just all sleeping on it in the living room floor until like everybody got jobs and we were just able to like get our own things from there. So I was really lucky to have my community and my friends
That's what's up.
to move out here with me together.
Yeah, I was 21.
Yeah,
21,
20,
22.
21,
Wow, yeah.
22. Yeah, and we just all moved out here together.
That's what's up. Yeah, I came by myself.
Yeah, and I can only imagine how scary that probably was.
You know what's crazy? I was not scared because before that I had already started traveling by myself.
Okay.
So I got into I came here the first time I even came to visit. I came by myself. Like so once I got into and then I went to LA by myself. And once I got in the room and just like traveling by myself because I didn't want to wait for nobody. It just seemed like second nature to me. I was the first one out of my friend group with my own apartment. I got my own apartment when I was 19 years old.
Wow.
And
in Chicago?
In Chicago, girl.
Yes,
and I never had a roommate, so I made it work.
Listen.
And I lived there, and even when I came here, I didn't have no roommates. I figured that shit out.
You figured it out? You ain't had no roommate?
I ain't never had no roommate.
I love that.
No.
That's
and it
major,
always
though.
was fashion that supported me. Like,
yeah.
I had a degree in design, so they didn't want to give me a fucking design job. But, fucking retail's always there.
Always.
Retail for the win, girl.
Yeah.
And retail just always was able to help me get to where I wanted to go. But, I just figured it out. Like I love that. I did have one roommate, girl, that first year at college when I was 18.
Okay, yeah.
And I went in the dorms, and I went to Northern Illinois University. And, of course, they matched you with whoever. And it was this white girl, and she was Polish, and she was just so fucking nasty that she just gave me a bad experience. And I was just like, I transferred. I didn't I transferred schools. I was just like,
I'm not doing this.
I'm not over here. It was was that POW, predominantly white school? Yeah, it was one of those. One of those schools. I was just like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Yeah. I'm going back to Chicago. I'm going to go to Columbia. I'm going to give me an apartment. And I did.
Did you graduate from Columbia?
Columbia College Chicago.
Yes. I got accepted into that school. And I looked at the tuition. I was like, what? $40,000 a year?
Girl, I'm still in debt right now.
I was like, yo.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be in debt until somebody comes. Well, no, I think they're wiping some of that shit away.
I hope
some
so.
of it is going away. But, yeah, the school was expensive. And I originally didn't have enough to even stay in the dorms. Because my plan was to stay in the dorms.
Yeah.
That shit was like another $20,000 on top of the tuition. But because I didn't get the dorms, I had got that refund money back, and that's what helped pay for the damn apartments. Okay. Yeah, that's what helped pay for that apartment, girl. Because I was working at West Seal, and them West Seal checks wasn't hitting. And them West Seal checks was not hitting the way they did, but the refund.
So how was Columbia?
I loved it. I think it
That's
had. I
good.
think Columbia has a really good program for fashion. They have a stylist program too.
That was what I was going to go there to go to the
So they had
stylist
a
program.
fashion stylist program, a fashion design program, and they had a fashion business program.
Yeah, and they were the only like school I saw that had an actual stylist program.
Yeah, and a lot of schools don't have. Now, the one thing I loved about Columbia is that it had a what they call an interdisciplinary major, meaning you can make up your own fucking major, and you would pick your whole thing. Like you would get a BA, but you would literally create your own fucking degree and pick your classes. So, because at first my ass like, oh, I want to dance. And I want to do fashion. So I want to own a company where we would do the choreography or whatever for like videos and concerts and shit. But then we would also make the clothes because you got to know how to move.
I love
in
that.
the fucking clothes. Girl, it went out the window. So. I got up there and was like, I ain't about to dance. Damn shit went out the window. But I think their programs at Columbia was really, really dope, especially for people like in the artist field or whatever. They had very specific majors, like even in film and in dance and in the theater departments and in photography. Girl, they got a degree in poetry. Yeah, they got a whole degree in
It's
poetry.
such an art school.
It's such an art school.
Yeah.
And I would honestly say I loved it, and it taught me a lot of like my foundational work, because I came here and not to shit on New York in any type of way, but like the FITs and the Parsons and stuff here, these kids don't know shit. Like they don't know how to construct girls. To me, sometimes the simplest garment. Like they don't know how to put together a fucking bra. Don't know how to make men's clothes. Don't know how to make kids' clothes. Like they know how to make small women's clothes. But unless you put a plus size woman in front of them, they don't know how to make no clothes. Like I just think it's just interesting that those schools have like the big reputation, and they don't even teach these kids. Like, first of all, they ain't got no fashion stylist program, I don't believe, but they're not even teaching.
Yeah, don't sleep on Chicago.
Yeah,
the Chicago scene, the creative scene is definitely it, and I knew it. I was just like, I can't afford it.
It was nice, but yeah, it was fucking expensive, which is why I'm in debt to my eyeballs.
But
it's okay. I'm gonna
Fuck
be
that
all
day.
right.
Fuck that day.
Right,
We gonna have that shit forever.
Every time they talk about a loan payment, my ass be like deferred.
Okay.
I don't care how much money I make. That shit will always be deferred.
I'm not paying it back.
I don't care. I'm not giving it
I don't
back
got
to you.
it. I'm sorry. I don't got it.
That should be free. So I saw in your bio too that you're also an editor. And you work like with different magazines or something?
So I worked at Bustle Digital Group. And I was the market editor there. And that was my first like editorial experience outside of like styling. I learned so much there. I was working under Mecca James Williams, who's just like an awesome friend and an amazing stylist and creative now. And yeah, that was just like a really great time because I didn't go to school for fashion.
Right.
I studied education in school, so I mean, I knew I wanted to style. I knew I wanted to work with clothes. I knew I didn't want to design, but I never knew about like the fashion journalism side. You know, like I never knew about that side. And so it was just really amazing to just grab some of that experience from there.
Gotcha. So what are your long-term goals?
I would
see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years.
I would love to just continue to grow By Colby as a brand. More collaborations, more styling, collaborations with like campaigns. Like one of my goals is to like do something for like Nike or like Sephora or like, you know, just like, I don't know, a really big red carpet moment like Met Gala or the Grammys or, you know, like everything that I'm doing now, just taking it to the next level and just continue to grow and expand financially too, you know.
Since you majored in education, do you ever see yourself maybe doing like styling classes or something?
Definitely. That is something that I'm looking forward to. And in the new year, just giving back and working with the youth. Like I've always had a passion for working with children and fashion. And now I feel like I'm at a point where I can merge the two, and I'm really excited about that.
Well, you should join the Black Girls Designer Club.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's a non-for-profit, and we offer free mentorship and coaching from girls ages 6 to 22.
Oh,
There's
wow.
about 6 mentors. Most of us stay in New York, but we have some in other cities too. But that's what we do. We like help and mentor like the youth or whatever, and then like you and your mentee would spend like one day a week together, like however your schedule is permitted. But you should definitely.
I love that. You gotta let me know.
Yeah,
Send it my way.
I will. So once you tell me you want to be a member, I will give you a new member induction, get you right on in there, get you put up on the website, because we do get a lot of little girls that not necessarily wants to design, but wants to style too. And most of our mentors are designers, so it'd be nice to have like a sector where like the girls want to focus like on styling and stuff like that.
And that's
too.
what I want to do. I feel like too. I think it's necessary for us to get back into trade. You know, I feel like a lot of people forget about like just the little things like hand sewing on a button or you know like tailoring a pair of jeans to actually fit you. You know, like there's skill in trading that, and I think like
I offer sewing. I do sewing Saturdays, so I teach sewing on Saturdays. Teach pattern making and draping like on Thursdays, but I find that it be so many people they just want it to be done, honey. Like I be trying, and there's some creators that do, but the classes is open, and I have them like customized where you can come in there and work on your own project, and I can teach you how to make whatever you want. People don't always take advantage of those.
Yeah.
I have people that fly from different states to come and take those classes, but like the local kids or whatever.
Because they don't see the benefits of it right now, especially with just everything being so instant. We living in this just instant, you know, social media world. But as you get older, it's necessary to have those skills and just being able to know how to do stuff on your own instead of always outsourcing. So I think that's really dope what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
So I have a little segment called "It's a Success."
Okay.
Or it's a disaster.
Oh, okay.
So I want you to tell me about a time in your business where something went completely bad or completely to shit, but you learned something from the experience that made you a better business owner.
I have one for you. It's my first red carpet experience. It was the Waco Gala, and my client, a very successful businesswoman. I never met her in person. I was referred, so most of my work comes through referrals, and I got her measurements and everything. I shopped and everything for her. We did a virtual fitting. She was in LA. I hired an assistant. You know, like everything was just like perfect. I had my kit and everything that I sent out there to her. The fitting, the dresses was incredible. We were able to pick a dress. It was amazing. My tailor like canceled last minute, so I had to find another tailor in LA because we had to crop the dress.
Oh, okay.
So we found another tailor, and we had to get it done super last minute. But you know, the tailors in LA, they're on red carpets every day, so it's nothing for them to like sew something up really quickly. Right. So yeah, he sewed it up. We did another FaceTime, and when she got to the event, the stitching, like we couldn't cut the dress because it was a sample, but the stitching,
the hem fell out. Oh my god.
So I called the tailor. He came back. We did it. I didn't get on FaceTime because I just felt like I didn't want to overwhelm her. That was my first time working with her, and I felt like this is his second time. He saw what happened. He's gonna make it work, right? I got a like call from her like 20 minutes later, and it fell out again. So it was just like she had to go on stage, present her award, and like really walk around with this gown, you know, and her hem was out. Like I felt horrible. Like it was a complete disaster, you know. I was very apologetic to her. I even like sent her flowers and things like that. But like it was totally out of my hand. But it was definitely a learning lesson. So it's just like, what did I learn from that? I had my personal kit for my assistant, but moving forward, I just need to have kits for my clients for emergencies like that. Safety pins, you know, a little needle and thread if you could just sew it up yourself, and some double stick tape to just kind of like have for her, you know. And just also making sure that I'm able to meet my client in person so I can know, you know, like get the full scope of your measurements. But yeah. That was.
I also have some better seamstresses on your Rolodex.
He
made you look bad.
Yeah, that too.
That wasn't even your fault.
Yeah, that too.
But it's hard. Good help is hard to find. Like,
yeah,
it really is.
And I mean, I had to take the blame for it, you know, because I hired him.
Yep, been there, done that.
Yeah,
I didn't took the blame for some girl I didn't have.
Yeah, you had an experience like that before?
No, I've had worse. Because of my stuff, a lot of mine, because like the price point that people are paying for me to create like a clothing line for them, we're talking about $10,000 above or whatever. And I hire, of course, I got employees and stuff like that, and they would fuck stuff up all the time. Like finding good help is really hard. Like to the point where like people would be so mad, girl, that they have like lawsuits. Like
lawsuits against you,
girl. Yeah, I would say, This year, maybe 4, child.
What?
Yeah.
4? Oh my God.
But it's like, I mean, I don't really give a fuck about sharing them. It's like that because I know that I didn't do nothing wrong, and I always have contracts. That's one thing I have. Now,
contracts
I always have contracts and stuff like that. And if my employee fucks up, I'm gonna go the extra mile to fix whatever I have. But sometimes, even when you're trying to fix something, some people just don't want to be solution oriented, or they just so upset and so into their emotions or whatever that they're not thinking clearly or whatever. Because you can sue me, baby, you can take me to court, but I got lawyers too, and I'm always lawyered up, and I didn't do nothing wrong. So I'm lawyered up. I'm lawyered up, girl. Yes. I got 3 attorneys. Like I'm lawyered.
Necessary.
I am lawyered up because people, especially when they spending a lot too, but also like. Keep a level head, and I feel like in any situation, like you gotta be solution oriented. You had a solution, you got another tailor. Okay, boom, well, let's try this. Let me call him back. So staying in that mind frame and just being someone who's easy to deal with. I know you're upset, and anybody would be upset, but finding the solution, staying that way. And litigation is sometimes their solution because they like to throw it out there, and I ain't no bitch. I ain't gonna back down. So.
Let them know.
I'm not. I'm like, so I be like, okay, here go my lawyer number, like, because at the end of the day, I know I haven't done anything wrong. I always make sure I fulfill my contractual obligation.
Yes.
That's one thing I'm always gonna do.
Yeah.
So if you want to sue me because you masses and spend your money paying for my lawyers too, because that's what's in that contract too, that you gotta pay for my legal fees too when this shit is over with, like, that's how, like,
read that contract.
But I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But I think that customer-client relationship is something that stylists deal with often, the designers deal with often, anybody in the service-based business, period. And I think that from a client standpoint, they also have to take accountability in their parts in it too. So I can only do what you give me, you know, kind of thing. But also, I ain't your slave neither, and it has to be boundaries there too. And I feel like I've heard so many like stories way worse than yours. But even just the way people speak to you and talk to you after you made a mistake, like you're not fucking human, you know, like, and I don't like that. And I feel like I hear the worst stories with stylists and not getting paid, not having budgets, and I'm just like, so what you think these people out here doing? They going shopping for hours and hours and hours on hours, and then having to return things, trying to please you. It's just like
a lot of people don't understand.
It's not respect for people's time, especially stylists. I'd be like, I've been to knock somebody out, girl.
If you haven't actually done the work and seen what it takes to go in, you know, a lot of people don't really understand, and that's what I'm learning too. Like, 2 years. This is like my second year, like freelancing full time all the way as a stylist, and so it's just like I'm learning that. I've learned this year, like, contracts are super, super important, and having that lawyer is super, super important, and that's something that I'm taking with me into the new year because I can't.
And the more you grow, the more problems I feel like. And I hate to say that because like you want to see the best in growth, but I'm gonna roll with BIG, more money, more problems, because the more you grow, the more people, like, if you even did the slightest one thing wrong to them, they would try to come back and haunt you. Girl, I looked at my Google reviews one day and I was just like, some of y'all is mad. Like, and then I don't respond back because I'm not gonna let you take my piece or anything like that. But I did make a general statement, like, y'all do know what when y'all started in a business like with me, I was also brand new a business owner. I also am human. I also make mistakes too, but I've tried to the best of my abilities to fulfill that. But you knew coming through the door that it was a small team, it was a new business, So where's your accountability on that too? Like, I can only do as much as you let me do, you know? So maybe people, girl, they just be upset, child.
I mean, people are just gonna be upset. Nothing you can do, and that's the industry, the service industry. Okay, you can't please everybody.
You cannot. You gotta have, I guess. Do you vet? And that's my final question is, like, when you are getting new clients, do you vet them, like, to make sure? Because every client, you know, relationship is not always gonna work out. Like, every business relationship isn't for everyone. Do you have like a process where you even make sure, a consultation, make sure that this person meshes well with you and how you work? Like, how do you vet your clients?
Well, my clientele is it's not a lot, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, most of them come from referral. And the referrals that do come in are usually aligning. But we do have like a consultation depending on what the job requires or what they need from me, you know. But I've never really had to like turn down anyone because it hasn't really been aligning, you know.
Well, that's good to know.
Not there yet.
Well, thank God. No, we happy.
Yeah.
Now, so before we wrap up, my last little segment is a muse.
Okay.
So if you just want to share a book, a mantra, a quote, a prayer, anything that continues to motivate you that you think would help someone else and inspire someone else.
Let me think. I feel like I mean, for me, as of lately, I definitely try to move in attention, you know, and even when I wake up in the morning, like, I'm very intentional with just, like, putting my phone on the other side of the room so I'm not looking at social media as soon as I wake up, because that can be draining sometimes, you know, and, like, even before I go to bed, like, writing out all of the things that I want to get done the next day, and just, you know, I'm a very spiritual person, so, you know, just praying and giving thanks and just, just moving in spirit and just always being thankful and grateful for everything that I have and not really worrying about the things that I don't have, taking it day by day.
I hear that. Right. Well, thank you so much, Ryan, for joining me. I just want to throw out your social media so people know how to get in contact with you and how to connect with you. And, of course, I'll put this in the show notes as well.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram. That's Ryan C. Gale, RyanCGale. And you can also follow my business page, By Colby. That's BYCOLBY _.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. As I always say, people, stay black. Peace
Yes.
out.
Thank you.